Vetlanda celebrates its 70th anniversary of Speedway with a third staging of the FIM Grand Prix Challenge. It's the fifth different venue in 5 years as 16 riders bid to join the best in the business as qualified competitors for the World Championship. One of the best lineups in some years for the 2016 Speedway Grand Prix Challenge includes 5 former Grand Prix winners bidding for their return to the series. Martin Smolinski became the first German rider to qualify for the World Championship from the 2013 Grand Prix Challenge and impressed in his first full season with some giant-killing rides. After a failed attempt at qualification last year, he hopes to return to the big time for 2017. I surprised a lot of people at the New Zealand Grand Prix in 2014. I went in as a nobody and left as a somebody. They were all a bit shocked because I'd never seen the track. I know nothing about New Zealand, but my team worked well and we showed them how quick we are. With the setup we have this year, my main goal is to be back in the Speedway Grand Prix and show how strong German Speedway is.
Ich gehe meinen Weg und es funktioniert ganz gut.
Martin Vakulik shocked the Speedway world with victory as a reserve for the 2012 Polish Grand Prix. And 3 years since bowing out of the series, he hopes to return stronger for 2017. 2012 was an amazing year for me because I won my first ever Speedway Grand Prix. It's still a great memory for me and one which I will keep for the rest of my life. The same for 2013 when I won my first European title. I'm really looking forward to today's meeting because I really want to get back into the Speedway Grand Prix for 2017.
Aby som na druhý rok v roku 2017 mohol bojovať o titul majstra sveta, ktorý je môj vysnívaný a preto spravím úplne všetko.
Kenneth Bjerre was a Grand Prix winner in 2010 but has since struggled to regain consistency at world level.
In 2012 I broke my leg, so I couldn't race more than half the season, so I didn't qualify for the year after. So I broke my leg 4 times, so I've been through a lot of injuries. But if I stay fit and I can beat everyone in the world, so of course I believe in myself and I know I can do the job.
Freddie Lindgren and Christoph Kasprzak are the most experienced riders in the lineup in Vetlanda. Lindgren is one of 2 competitors racing regularly in the Grand Prix in 2016 and currently sits 10th in the world. Christoph Kasprzak was world number 2 in 2014 and after podium finishes in each of the qualifiers will be the favourite tonight. Four of the 16 riders from the last Grand Prix Challenge in Vetlanda back in 2011 line up here again this afternoon. A total of 8 different nationalities are included, Poland the best represented country with 5 qualifiers. The 21st staging of the Speedway Grand Prix Challenge has attracted another strong crowd to the 355-metre Vetlanda Motorstadion for one of the biggest days of the season, the only day on which qualification positions to the 2017 Speedway Grand Prix will be handed out. Just 3 riders will make it through, so it's a high-pressure meeting where non-scoring rides are severely penalised. All of the riders will take 5 outings, using each different starting position. 13 points will guarantee qualification to the World Championship. A minimum of a double-figure score from 5 rides will be needed to have a hope of making it through. Building up to the opening round of heat races with Heat 1 off the inside start position in red. It's Sam Masters, the 25-year-old making his debut in the Grand Prix Challenge. Gate 2 in blue, Mikkel Beck, 3-time Grand Prix rider who celebrated his 22nd birthday earlier this week. Gate 3 in white, it's Nicolas Cavati, the Argentinian, in his 3rd consecutive Grand Prix Challenge. And Krzysztof Buszkowski completes the lineup off the outside, the former Polish number 3 who finished 9th in each of his 2 previous Challenge appearances. The track pretty dry in anticipation of the meeting, but it's been well watered ahead of this opening block of heat races. The outside start positions will be tough in the early stages. Making 5 starts will be crucial to potential qualification. It's Masters off 1, it's Beck off 2, Cavati off 3, Bushkovsky off the outside for the opening race of the day. Good start from the inside from Sam Masters. Cavati is there as well. Bushkovsky forced wide around turns 1 and 2, and Cavati quickly trying to carve his way back to the inside. Under pressure from Mikkel Beck as they go 3 abreast into the top turn, and Bushkovsky gets across the front of Cavati, who's relegated from second to last as Beck comes across the front of Bushkovsky. The pole moving back to the inside line around turns 1 and 2. Under pressure from Cavati, the front 2 now splintering away. It's Sam Masters who leads. Mikkelbeck in second, front wheel up over the white line as he tries to gain in ground on the Australian. Clearly faster than the current race leader, but Masters doing what he needs to do, taking advantage of that inside start position in the early stages and holding it down to the inside, the racing line in the opening block of heat races. Separate battle over that third place where Krzysztof Bushkovsky has looked out of control for the last lap or so, getting his front wheel up, coming off the turns. As the rider in blue, Mikkel Beck, tries to come around the outside of Sam Masters coming off the second bend, but finds that there just isn't enough in the early stages. I think a chain guard there coming off the bike of Mikkel Beck as he comes over the line. No effect to his race results. It's Sam Masters who takes the checkered flag, Mikkel Beck second, Krzysztof Bushkovsky with the single point in thirds. Heat 2, Martin Vaculek goes off the inside in red. The 26-year-old from Slovakia, one of 2 wildcard riders here tonight. Krzysztof Kasperzak, one of the pre-meeting favourites, goes off gate 2, the 2014 world number 2, recovering from a season to forget in 2015. Gate 3 in whites, that's Peter Ljung, a genuine home representative, lives within walking distance of this track. And the outside start position, Martin Smolinski, Germany's national treasure, the first German to qualify from the challenge back in 2013. Vaculek, Kasperzak, Ljung and Smolinski for heat number 2. Good start from the 2 inside start positions this time, and it's Vaculek who gets there from the inside. Kasperzak straight back to the curb as Martin Smolinski makes a good cut back coming off the second turn to get up the inside of Peter Ljung. Now looks down the inside of Krzysztof Kasperzak coming off turn 4. Up on one wheel, Smolinski trying to power past, but Kasperzak holds firm on the inside line. He's drifted wide coming off the second turn, but Smolinski not close enough to challenge. Is under pressure from Peter Ljung here out at the back, although Ljung then locks up coming into turn 3, and Smolinski is able to go off in pursuit of Krzysztof Kasperzak. The pole running narrow down into turn 1. Smolinski builds up his speed. He's trying to turn back off the corners. And the moment Krzysztof Kasperzak holding the racing line well, and Smolinski is going to be forced to do something special here to get the better of Krzysztof Kasperzak, who still holds second place into the closing stages. Vaculek well clear. Smolinski bursting around the outside of turns 1 and 2. This time he's going to try and move all the way around the outside. Pulls level with Kasperzak down into turn 3. Smolinski with the last-ditched attempt. Coming off turn 4, Kasperzak lifts and Smolinski gets there. Kasperzak beaten in the run down to the line. Made an error there going too conservative on the inside. He's relegated to third position. Smolinski takes 2 for second. Vaculek the winner. Brady Kurtz looks to become the second Australian heat winner as he lines up in red for heat 3. Kenneth Bjerre off gate 2 in blue, making his 6th appearance in the Grand Prix Challenge, his first since 2013. It's Patrick Dudek off gate 3 in white, the 2016 Polish champion. And the outside start position in yellow, Freddie Lindgren, the 2016 GP reserve, in as a wild card here tonight. Heat 3 then, the inside start positions have been favourable so far. It's a good start though from Patrick Dudek, who manages to get across the front of both Bjerre and Kurtz, who lifts wildly coming off turn number 2 and is stuck out at the back. It's a 3-way race up front then for the leading positions. Freddie Lindgren cutting down to the inside and moving Patrick Dudek out to the fence. Quite literally, Dudek slamming into the safety barriers and then back onto the racing line across the front of Kenneth Bjerre, who's struggling in third. Good ride in the early stages from Freddie Lindgren, getting into the race leading position at the end of lap number 1. He now lifts coming off turn 4. Dudek has the momentum, drills a move down into the inside into turn 1. Lindgren looks to repay the compliment up the inside coming off turn 2, but Dudek has held the line well, and Lindgren will have to do the work from behind once again, but this time the pole hasn't left the inside run open. Looks over his shoulder coming into the final lap, sees that Lindgren is chasing. Lindgren will have to continue the outside pursuit. but can't find a way through. And again, the rider's really struggling coming off the turns here in Vetlanda. And Lindgren is going to have to take second place here as Patrick Dudek comes from behind to take the checkered flag. Lindgren in second then. Pierre in third, a surprising start for him, and the inside start position's not working at all in Heat 3 as they did in the opening 2 races of the day. Heat 4, Max Frick goes off the inside start position. The 20-year-old, already 3 times Australian under-21 champion. Gate 2 in blue, Piotr Pawlicki, the 2016 World Cup winner with the Polish national team. His fellow countryman Tomasz Jedrzak goes off gate 3, and Robert Lambert completes the lineup for the final race of round 1 in the heat races, and it's a good start off gate 2 from Pawlicki, who gets there first. Around the outside comes Robert Lambert, pursuing for second position alongside Max Frick. Down into the top turn, Frick holds the line, Lambert locks up, and down goes Tomasz Jedrzak out at the back, the pole. Struggling there going into turn 3 as Lambert locked it sideways, almost alongside Max Frick, but couldn't get there, and it's the Australian up on one wheel now as he comes off turn 2, as many of the riders have been in this opening block of heat races as they get acclimatised to track conditions here in Vetlanda. It's Piotr Pawlicki who leads the way, second place, and behind him Max Frick, Rob Lambert in third, the 2 under-21 competitors in second and third positions here. 2 teenage riders competing in tonight's meeting. Robert Lambert taking in his first experience of the Speedway Grand Prix Challenge and struggling in it. Locked up around the top turn on the opening lap, and he's back down to third. Max Frick struggling there, coming off turn number 2, but Lambert nowhere near close enough to challenge, and it's going to be a fairly comfortable race victory in the end for Piotr Pawlicki. Second over the line to Max Frick, and the single point in third to Robert Lambert. Tomasz Jedrzak will count himself unfortunate. He fell on the opening lap trying to avoid Rob Lambert, who locked up ahead of him on lap number 1. Two poles sit among the top 4 after the opening round of heat races. A disappointing start to the meeting for Christoph Kasprzak and Kenneth Pierre with just a point apiece. Next up, Heat 5. 3 round 1 heat winners line up head-to-head. Robert Lambert, the odd one out, goes off gate 1 in the red helmet colour. A baptism of fire for him. First time out, the youngest rider in the field at just 18 years of age, the lone Brit in the lineup. Gate 2 in blue, Sam Masters, the Heat 1 winner, 2015 Australian Grand Prix wildcard. Gate 3 in the white helmet colour will be Martin Vaculik, a fan's favourite here after 4 seasons with Elite Vetlanda. And the outside gate in yellow, Patrick Dudek, the 2013 Under-21 world champion, getting his career back on track after a ban laid down in 2014. An impressive winner first time out, and off that gate 3 starting position, the other 3 riders to have taken that starting position so far here tonight have all failed to score. It's Lambert off 1, Masters off 2, Vaculik off 3, Dudek off the outside. As round 2 of the heat races gets underway, good start off the outside gate from Patrick Dudek, all the way across from gate 4 to the inside line around turns 1 and 2. Martin Vaculik into second place, Sam Masters up in third. Robert Lambert's struggles continue as he sits out at the back. Sam Masters getting out of shape coming off turn 4, looks over his shoulder, does enough to defend third position ahead of Robert Lambert coming back down into turns 1 and 2. But while Patrick Dudek stretches away out in front and Sam Masters struggles to hold on to third position, the front 3 are separated now by pretty sizable margins, and it looks as though the round 1 heat winners will finish in the top 3 positions here, although Robert Lambert still giving pursuit to Sam Masters out at the back. Looks as though the Australian has started to consolidate that position now. So Patrick Dudek looking set to make it 2 wins out of 2 as he stretches away into the final lap. Second place still with Martin Vaculik. He will move on to 5 points from his opening 2 rides, and Sam Masters restricted to third with Robert Lambert out at the back and unable to do nothing, just not making the starts here today, the Brit. And he has real work on his hands in his remaining 3 outings here this evening. Dudek the winner, Vaculik second, Masters in third, Lambert his first non-scoring ride out at the back in Heat 5. Heat 4 winner Piotr Pawlicki looks to move back to the top of the standings alongside Patrick Dudek as he lines up off the inside for Heat 6. Alongside him, Brady Kurtz, World Cup finalist with Australia in 2016. Mikkelbeck goes off gate 3 in white. Interestingly, the only rider in the field contracted to Vetlanda has made just a single appearance though for the team, so his advantage in that sense pretty negligible. The outside gate is with Peter Ljung, something of a national hero in Sweden, the 2003 World Cup winner. Ljung lining right up against the safety fence for this one. Heat number 6, can he make it all the way from the outside as Dudek did previously? Has made a good start, gets a good run on the outside line coming off turn 2. Pawlicki moves into second place and into attack mode. Third place with Brady Kurtz. The inside line at the back for Mikkel Beck as it's Australia and Denmark battling away for the single point. Beck diving to the inside now into turn 1. Kurtz runs across the turn. Beck holds it down to the inside for the apex. Kurtz holds on to the position for now. Mikkel Beck, who picked up 2 race points in his opening outing, can't really afford to drop more points in his second ride, but he's stranded in last position here. Peter Ljung just picking up there coming off the second turn, and Piotr Pawlicki has it down to the inside line, but Ljung carves across the front of his rival going into turn 3. He will run across the apex of the bend, enabling Pawlicki to close in into the final lap. Still Ljung leading the way. Pawlicki looking for the inside once again coming off the turns, but doesn't seem to have a pace advantage. Beck doing the same out at the back, trying to find his way alongside Brady Kurtz, but the position's fairly stable and it's going to be a race victory for Peter Ljung. Second looking over his shoulder to Piotr Pawlicki. Close in the run down to the line for third as Brady Kurtz gets the better of Mikkel Beck in a race-long struggle all over the single points in Heat 6. 4 riders looking for their first heat victory in a lineup for Heat 7 that includes 2 former Grand Prix winners. Off the inside gate in red, it's Kenneth Bjerre, the 2010 Swedish Grand Prix winner, and Christoph Kasprzak goes in white, the 3 times Grand Prix winner, the most decorated rider in today's lineup, but he was pretty disappointing first time out with just a single point. Between them is Max Frick, 2 points from his opening ride in Heat 4. The outside start position with round 1 non-scorer Nicholas Cavati. Getting on the way then with Heat 7. Good start off the inside from Kenneth Bjerre, and he has to force his way level as Cavati goes down at the back. All 4 riders arriving at turn 1 more or less at the same time as Bjerre dives back down to turn 3 and the red flags come out. Thankfully, Nicholas Cavati able to get straight back up to his feet, and he will be able to reprise his role in the restaging. All 4 riders back for Heat number 7. Bjerre and Kasprzak looking to really get their night up and running with just a single point apiece. It's Bjerre off the inside, Frick off 2, Kasprzak off 3. Cavati off the outside gate for the restaging of Heat 7. Once again, a pretty level break, but Kasprzak hasn't got there. Cavati's got a clean run around turns 1 and 2. Tries to pull alongside Max Frick down into the top bend. Good race going on here for second with Frick holding the inside line. Cavati now moving his way back up to the inside line. Will make a move down the inside of Kenneth Bjerre. Bjerre holds firm, plenty of experience with the current race leader, the Dane, but Cavati determined to find his way through after a disappointing opening outing. Had to back out of it there into turn 3, and I think that's given the advantage to Kenneth Bjerre and an opportunity to build a buffer out in front. Cavati hard into the turns, that super style as he sits in second place. Third position is with Max Frick, looking set to move on to 3 race points as Kenneth Bjerre will move above him in the standings, but Christoph Kasprzak out at the back. That's a major surprise once again in his second ride this time around. Frick still pegging it back to the inside as Cavati runs wide and locks up slightly coming off the turns, but still has enough of a margin to hold on to second place. It's going to be a first race victory of the day for Kenneth Bjerre. He takes the 3 race points. Second place to Nicholas Cavati looking at his machine as he comes over the line. Max Frick for third, and Christoph Kasprzak just 1 point from 2 rides. Poland's struggling duo line up inside and out with just 1 point between them coming into Heat 8. It's Krzysztof Buszkowski off the inside gate in red. 3 times German champion Martin Smolinski off gate 2 in blue, 2 points to his name. Freddie Lindgren goes off gate 3 in white, the 2012 Swedish Grand Prix winner. And Thomas Jedrzak, the oldest rider in the field, goes off the outside gate in yellow. A struggling start for 3 of the 5 Polish competitors here this evening. Can Buszkowski and Jedrzak improve their points total in the last of the round 2 heat races? Good start off gate 3 from Freddie Lindgren. Lindgren gets their level with Buszkowski, who holds the inside line down well. Smolinski with another uncharacteristically poor start, but he's now bursting his way up the inside of Thomas Jedrzak. Moves the pole aside and then heads off into the dirt coming off turn 4 to pull in front of Buszkowski. 2 good overtaking manoeuvres there from Martin Smolinski to move through into second place. Buszkowski it is who sits in third, then Jedrzak out at the back. These 2 poles struggling once again, but Martin Smolinski is the rider in focus here as he tries to bore down now on the race leader Freddie Lindgren. brilliant start from him off gate number 3, and Smolinski was there or thereabouts in the run down to the first turn, but just got sandwiched out by Buszkowski and Lindgren coming across the front of him. The German then having to fight back with all his aggression down into turn 3. He's fought his way through into second place. It's going to be a second consecutive 2-point score for him, but a first race victory of the day for Freddie Lindgren as he rounds turns 3 and 4 for the final time. It's fast Freddie Lindgren who takes the checkered flag to delight the Swedish crowd once again. Martin Smolinski gets second, the 2 race points on the board, he moves on to 4. A single point score for Krzysztof Buszkowski, he moves on to 2, and Tomasz Jedrzak still yet to score at the end of round number 2. Seven different race winners in the opening 8 heats, and the qualification positions are still to play for. With nothing to his name after 2 rides, Tomasz Jedrzak is the first rider ruled out of contention. 2 race victories from gate 3 after success last time out for Freddie Lindgren, but otherwise the white helmet colour has been extremely unproductive tonight. 8 points in 8 races and the worst of the starting positions. Sam Masters has that gate 3. In the next one out, heat 9, Peter Ljung goes off the inside gate in red, the 2012 Grand Prix regular, a round 2 race winner for his first points of the day. Gate 2 in blue, Tomasz Jedrzak, the 2012 Polish champion, looking for his first points of the evening. Gate 3 in white then, Sam Masters, the Australian number 2 winner first time out. He sits on 4 points, a tough racing prospect for him off the unfavourable gate 3 here. And Kenneth Bjerre goes off the outside gate in yellow, 4 points to his name. Tied as it stands with Sam Masters. Ljung, Masters and Bjerre the riders to watch then. Jedrzak yet to score, out of contention for qualification. Heat 9 gets underway. Kenneth Bjerre snaking down to the first turn, but manages to get across the front of Sam Masters, who's trapped at the back in the early stages. Tomasz Jedrzak in line for his first points of the night, but only sits third. The race lead is with Peter Ljung. Good start off the inside gate from him, but it's Kenneth Bjerre diving down to the inside, back into turns 1 and 2, trying to find his way past into a race-leading position. 2 battles in 1 here. We've got the front 2 who are starting to pull away. Tomasz Jedrzak, who's looked over his shoulder a couple of times already in the early stages, clearly not comfortable here tonight, but does have a sizable advantage over Sam Masters in last position. Bjerre still trying to find his way through, but Peter Ljung holding the racing line well. Bjerre has looked up to the outside a couple of times, trying to square off the turns to make long straights. Now he looks over his shoulder to see whether he can chance a big blast around the outside. He's going to move up to the outside into turn 1 again, turning back coming off the bends. Ljung up on one wheel as he tries to get maximum traction into the closing stages. He runs off the curb coming off turn 4 for the final time. Bjerre looks to the inside but not quite close enough. And it's Peter Ljung who takes the second consecutive race victory. Kenneth Bjerre of Denmark restricted to second place and 2. Jedrzak gets off the mark with a single point in third. Sam Masters out at the back. Tied for second coming into round 3. Freddie Lindgren and Martin Vakulik line up side by side off the inside for heat 10. Lindgren off gate 1 in red. Double figure scorer on his last visit here in lead competition. Doesn't really rate the track among his favourites, but a good 5 points from his opening 2 rides. Gate 2 in blue, Martin Vakulik, the 2013 European champion. A good start to the meeting for him. Gate 3 in white, Max Frick, 3 points in his first Grand Prix challenge so far. And Mikkelbeck, the lowest score of this quartet, goes off gate 4. Getting underway then with the second of the round 2 heat races. Good start off gate 2 in blue from Martin Vakulik. Lindgren is there or thereabouts in second place, although coming around the outside of him now is Max Frick in the white helmet colour. Freddie Lindgren with his front wheel right up over the white line as he comes past Max Frick, and Frick pulling a tear off as he comes back down into turn 1, moving to the inside line himself, although he's run off the curb coming off turn number 2, and Mikkelbeck is trying to get back in amongst the point scorers in this one, race number 10. Slow start to the meeting for Mikkelbeck with a failure to score last time out off gate number 3. An unfavourable starting position, as I've previously said, but he's not going to add to his points tally here out at the back, and that's going to rule him out of contention for a qualification place. Max Frick still on the fringes. Another single point score here will move him on to 4 as they go into the final lap though. That third place is far from secure as Beck looks up to the outside line into turn 1, trying to gain ground on Frick. Doesn't look as though any of these positions are going to change in the latter stages. It's going to be our second race victory of the night for Martin Vakulik to move on to 8 points from 3 rides. Freddie Lindgren drops behind him in the standings. A 2-point score there, he moves on to 7. Max Frick moves on to 4 with a single point in third. And Mikkelbeck a second consecutive non-scoring ride. The only unbeaten rider in the meeting, Patrick Dudek, looks to make it 3 wins out of 3 and return to the top of the standings here in Heat 11. Martin Smolinski goes off gate 1. 4 points to his name. He hasn't been making the starts, needs to do so in his remaining rides. Dudek off 2, Cavati off 3, Pavlitsky 5 points from 2 rides, goes off the outside. Good start off gate 2 from Dudek. Smolinski once again left, but not as much as Nicholas Cavati, whose machine has let him down in the run down to turn number 1. Cavati's out of it then. It's a 3-horse race as Smolinski looks up the inside of Dudek, but the pole holds the racing line and Smolinski is going to have to try something special for yet another overtaking manoeuvre. Piotr Pavlitsky seems more concerned about what's going on behind him. Not at all at ease in his 3rd ride of the evening. And this is going to drop him back down the standings. Martin Smolinski picking him off, coming off the 2nd turn for the first time. Hasn't really been able to live with the pace of Patrick Dudek, who leads the way. It's Dudek then, the former under-21 world champion, on a maximum after his opening 2 rides. Scored a maximum last time he was out here at Vetlanda in the Swedish Elite League. He's going to make it 3 wins out of 3 here this evening in one of the biggest meetings of his calendar in 2016. Smolinski unable to live with his pace. Piotr Pavlitsky is nowhere back in 3rd position. The runner-up from last year's Grand Prix Challenge disappointing in his 2nd and 3rd round races. But it's Dudek who takes a 3rd win of the evening to move 1 step closer to qualification. Martin Smolinski still looking for his 1st race victory of the night. Pavlitsky disappointing in that one, Heat 11. Weak link race Heat 12, a quartet with just 5 points between them here. It's Rob Lambert who goes off the inside gate in red, the British World Cup regular and under-21 star. Perhaps this meeting just coming a little bit too early in his career. Krzysztof Buszkowski off gate 2 in blue, the highest scorer of these 4. Gate 3 in white, Brady Kurtz just 1 point from his opening 2 rides, and now he's got the worst starting position of the evening. Krzysztof Kasprzak off the outside gate in yellow, inexplicably slow so far tonight. Races regularly here as a Swedish Elite League visitor, but has just 1 point to his name. Needs 3 victories in his remaining 3 rides. He's made a decent start off the outside. Can he get all the way around? Kasprzak going 3 abreast. Fights his way past Brady Kurtz, who's battling alongside of Robert Lambert. The British rider backing out of it down the straight, and now he's got company on the inside as Krzysztof Buszkowski comes through. The 3rd time he's found his way into 3rd position. Can he now go after Brady Kurtz, who holds a good 2nd place? Buszkowski again looking up to the inside line, out of control coming off the turns, and that's enabled Robert Lambert to pull alongside. But again, the British rider locking up on turns 3 and 4. That's been his struggle throughout the meeting here tonight. Just can't seem to get the pace coming off the 4th bend. And now he's going to have to do it the hard way, because he's going to gain in ground once again on Krzysztof Buszkowski after being so close in the early stages. The battle is over 2nd pass. Brady Kurtz has had a couple of looks over his shoulder rather briefly. Buszkowski has mixed up his racing lines. He's now going wide, coming into turns 1 and 2, heading down towards the pits turn with Kurtz up on one wheel. Buszkowski diving back to the inside line with his front wheel up against the white line, but he's not quite going to get there. It's very close in the run down to the line. Buszkowski closer than expected coming off turn 4, I think, there for the final time. Brady Kurtz just about holding on for the 2 race points ahead of the pole, but it's Krzysztof Kasprzak who returns to winning ways out in front. Patrick Dudek then holds a 3-point advantage over the qualification drop zone and leads the meeting. The top 7 opening a gap to the chasing pack of 3 riders led by Sam Masters, who would all now need wins from their remaining outings to make it through. Heat 12 winner Krzysztof Kasprzak has 2 rides in succession as he lines up off the inside. For Heat 13, a good win last time out off the outside start position, sheer determination to get him there. It was a last chance really after scoring just a single point from his opening 2 rides. Kasprzak still needs race victories from his remaining 2 outings to keep himself in contention. Going off gate 1 here, the pole with Freddie Lindgren alongside him. 2 2nd places and a surprise race victory off the unfancied gate 3 puts him right in contention. Gate 3 in white will be with Piotr Pavlitsky. He's tailed off since a race victory, first time out in Heat 4. And Sam Masters will complete the lineup off the outside, another rider who started strongly but has struggled since then. 2 of the round 1 Heat winners haven't gone on to another race victory. Martin Vakulik and Patrick Dudek, the other race winners in round number 1, currently top the point standings as we head into round 4 now of the Heat races. Kasprzak off 1, Lindgren off 2, Pavlitsky off 3, Masters off the outside. Heat 13 gets underway. Another fast start from Krzysztof Kasprzak, who gets to the first turn first. Sam Masters running up to the outside line will try and pull all the way around the outside. Lindgren nudged back down to 3rd position. He goes to the inside on the top turn once again. He's making good use of that curbing here tonight. He's made a couple of overtakes already on that inside line on turns 3 and 4. Trying to find his way alongside Sam Masters, aggressive coming off the second turn. And Masters runs out of room and is relegated down to 3rd position. Good inside line action from Freddie Lindgren. Sam Masters tries to repay the compliment. The Australian back down to the inside line on the pit turn himself, but it didn't work out last lap around. And he's still fighting on the tail of Freddie Lindgren as he sees his chances of qualification going up in smoke here. And Lindgren will continue his steady evening, his steady points accumulation, heading towards potential qualification. But it's back to winning ways for Christoph Kaczak. Winner last time out in Heat 12 off the outside, showing his versatility here in this one with an inside start position, and takes the flag success, and it's back-to-back victories for Christoph Kaczak, who celebrates on one wheel, ahead of Freddie Lindgren in 2nd position to move on to 9 points, 2 ahead of Kaczak. A point in 3rd for Sam Masters, but his hopes of qualification are over, and Piotr Pawlicki with a first non-scoring ride out at the back. The 2 riders off the 2 inside gates are out of contention for qualification. Martin Smolinski and Kenneth Bjerre off the outside on the fringes. Each need a big result in this one, Heat 14. Mikkel Beck off the inside gate, Robert Lambert off 2, Martin Smolinski off 3, and Kenneth Bjerre off the outside. Watch for the 2 outside start positions. Can Martin Smolinski provide a miracle off gate 3? Has actually made a decent start, but a better run down to the first turn for the riders off gates 1 and 4. Beck on the inside. Smolinski having to do battle with Rob Lambert just to move into 3rd place. The Brit back down to the inside on the top turn as Smolinski goes off into the dirt in pursuit of Mikkel Beck. Lambert there or thereabouts, but just hasn't quite got the confidence to pull alongside, and he's now stranded in last position. But Martin Smolinski can't really afford to finish 3rd because he hasn't got any race victories to his name as yet. Needs at least 2nd place to keep up the run towards qualification here tonight. Kenneth Bjerre is looking comfortable out in front, a round 2 heat winner. Checkered flag in race number 7, looks set for another 7 races later in Heat 14. This would move him level with Freddie Lindgren onto 9, with a round of heat races still to come. Smolinski diving back to the inside into turns 1 and 2, but still holding the line. The rider in the red helmet colour, Mikkel Beck, 2 non-scoring rides, and he's going to deny the German contingent of fans, quite sizable here in Vetlanda, as Beck comes home for 2nd. It's a Danish 1-2, Bjerre the winner, Beck for 2 race points. Meaningless really in his pursuit of qualification, he's already eliminated. Martin Smolinski back in 3rd moves on to 7. Is that enough for the German? And Robert Lambert failing to score once again. Martin Vakulik is the favourite for Heat 15. The 3 riders around him already out of contention for qualification. Tomasz Jedrzak, a first ride faller, goes off gate 1 in red, scored his first point of the day last time out. Nicholas Cavati off gate 2, poor old Cavati, with 2 gate 3 starting positions and 2 non-scoring rides from those races. 2 rides still to come for him. Kurtz and Vakulik completing the lineup. Vakulik the favourite off gate 4. He's made a decent gate. Cavati was there or thereabouts down into turn 1, and the Italian representative gets back to the inside coming off turn 2 and tries to pull alongside, but it's Vakulik who eventually holds the racing line and has the speed. He lost the rider in the red helmet colour to a mechanical failure down into the first turn, so more disappointment for Tomasz Jedrzak, and the 2nd race in 4 that he's failed to finish. Cavati giving a good pursuit coming off the 2nd bend, made a smart move back to the inside to try and pull alongside Martin Vakulik, but down into turn 3 the Slovakian had the pace and pulls clear into the 2nd half of this one. And Vakulik heading well towards qualification now. A race victory here would move him on to 11 points and to within touching distance of a place in the Speedway World Championship for 2017. Cavati heading into the final lap in 2nd place, well clear of Brady Kurtz. Like Cavati, Kurtz with 2 gate 3 starting positions, although funnily enough for the Australian, they've been his best scores of the day so far. As Vakulik takes the checkered flag, his 3rd of the evening to move on to 11, just 1 drop point from 4 rides. Cavati takes 2nd place to move on to 4, and Brady Kurtz the single point to move level with the Italian representative. Heat 16, the last of the round 4 heat races. Victory here will put Patrick Dudek within a point of confirmed qualification. Meanwhile, Max Frick needs a win here to keep his slim hopes alive. Dudek goes off the inside gate unbeaten from 3 rides so far. Jung off 2, Buszkowski off 3, Frick the outsider off the outside gate. Well, it looked like a good start from Patrick Dudek off the inside, but perhaps too good for the meeting referee, who calls all 4 back for a full restaging. It's Dudek, Jung, Buszkowski and Frick for the 2nd time of asking. After an unsatisfactory start in the initial running of Heat 16, Dudek makes the jump once again. The rider in white, Buszkowski, straight back to the inside line. Frick out of shape as Leung went straight up to the outside. Bushkovsky trying back on the inside of Leung, but he covered defensively well going into turn number 3. And it looks as though being the predicted race victory for Patrick Dudek, but Peter Leung is in line for a good result here, although if he keeps running wide, he's going to make himself vulnerable to Krzysztof Bushkovsky. 3 points from 3 rides for the pole so far. His hopes of qualification already over, but in this one as a spoiler. And on the tail of Peter Leung, who holds second position into the closing stages. 2 points here would move him on to 8. Still in touch with the qualifiers, with a chance in his final ride to become a hero. Bushkovsky, after an initial attack, has dropped back slightly, although he's right back onto the tail of Peter Leung once again into the final lap. Building it up wide around turn number 1, has plenty of speed coming off the turns, but Leung is on the racing line, just needs to hold that position now as they come out of turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Leg up style from Patrick Dudek, who makes it 4 wins out of 4. Second place and 2 for Peter Leung, who moves on to 8, still in with a chance of qualification. The night over for Bushkovsky and Frick out at the back in heat 16. Double-figure scorers Martin Vakulik and Patrick Dudek are within touching distance of the Grand Prix now, having dropped just 1 point between them. Riders in the second half of the table out of contention for qualification. After a third position finish in round 4, Martin Smolinski is the man under pressure in heat 17, and the only rider in this one still in contention. The real threat to Smolinski comes from the inside gates with Sam Masters, who was a winner last time he took to that gate 1 position. He goes in red then, 5 points from his 4 rides, just 2 points from his last 3 outings. Gate 2 in blue, Martin Smolinski, 2 points last time he rode off gate 2, but needs a race victory here. He sits on 7. Gate 3 in white is Max Frick, 4 points after a non-scoring ride last time out in heat 16, 2 in succession for him. And his fellow countryman Brady Kurtz completes the lineup off the outside gate. Heat 17, round 5 of the heat races gets underway. It's the decider. Smolinski's missed the start. It's Masters who gets there on the inside. The German back to the inside though, coming off turn number 2. Smart cutback move from him to draw level down the inside and pass Masters. Now he can try and fight his way past Max Frick, which he does successfully, coming off turn number 4. Frick will try to come back around the outside of turns 1 and 2, but Smolinski has played a beautiful get-out-of-jail-free card there, getting back to the inside, coming off turn 2. He was stone last down into the first turn, and he's carved his way back through to the front. Smolinski leads the way, then Frick still pressurising hard back in second position, down the inside coming into the turns, but Smolinski looking increasingly comfortable as this race goes on. Brady Kurtz slipping away down in third position, front wheel up over the white line, but he can't find his way onto the tail of his fellow countryman. It's Australians 2 and 3, but Smolinski pulling clear. This could just keep open his outside hopes of qualification. It's going to be a first race victory of the evening. He saved his best until last. Martin Smolinski wins his 5th and final ride. Second place to Max Frick, who kept up good pressure throughout, and Brady Kurtz the single point in third. 3 Australians in heat 17, 3 of them out at the back behind Martin Smolinski. Patrick Dudek needs just a point here to confirm qualification, a win to secure the victory here today. The pole goes off the inside here, a favourable draw, leaving him with that inside gate in his final 2 rides. Also watch out for Krzysztof Kasprzak, nothing less than a second will do here for him. A win, a more realistic need. Dudek, Beck, Kasprzak and Jedrzak as we get underway with a potential meeting decider, and it's Dudek who has made the start. Beck is there in second position. Kasprzak stranded, unable to make use of that unfancied gate 3 starting position. Jedrzak putting in his best ride of the day so far, coming around the outside of Mikkel Beck and trying to battle his way through to second. He's done so successfully. It's Poland 1 and 2, but the representative who really needed big points from this one is Krzysztof Kasprzak, who's stuck out in last position. Jedrzak pursuing his fellow countrymen as Kasprzak comes through now on the inside of Mikkel Beck, and the Dane manages to find his way back past and aggressively across the front of Krzysztof Kasprzak down into turn number 1. All the while Kasprzak slipping back from the front 2 positions that he needs to keep his slim hopes of qualification alive. And Patrick Dudek ever closer to the Speedway World Championship in 2017. He's into the final lap. Jedrzak is close, but even second position will do for Dudek to qualify. Race victory will give him the meeting. Patrick Dudek to win the 2016 Speedway Grand Prix Challenge. Dudek makes it 5 wins out of 5, a perfect night for him. Second place to Tomasz Jedrzak, his best result of the day. as both he and Mikkel Beck get in the way of Christoph Kasprzak, who needed points from that one but couldn't get them. Freddie Lindgren needs a minimum of a point to keep his 2017 Grand Prix hopes alive. 3 points here in Heat 19 will guarantee him at least a runoff for a place in the top 3. Nicholas Cavati goes off the inside, Freddie Lindgren off gate 2, Robert Lambert off 3, Peter Ljung off the outside gate. He's a potential spoiler. A good start to the meeting for him. Cavati with a good start off gate number 1, and Lindgren's going to have to do this one the hard way. Squares back to the inside line as Martin Smolinski did in his round 5 heat race, but can't pull past Cavati, who leads it. Ljung battling back around the outside line on the top turn as they go 3 abreast, and Lindgren cuts across the front of Cavati. The Italian representative will try to repay the compliment down the inside, but Lindgren holds firm. That's a brilliant opening lap or so from Freddie Lindgren, but Cavati is still pressurising hard on the inside of the top turn and makes Freddie Lindgren's move his own as he gets the better of the Grand Prix regular and forces him wider and wider before a hard, fast sweep back into turn 1. Lindgren then is going to have to make this overtake from behind, but he's dropped back over the last half a lap or so. And it's going to be up to the remaining race of the day to decide whether Freddie Lindgren still has a hope of qualification. Needed a big result in this one. Could still be overhauled in the standings in the remaining race of the day. He currently sits 3rd overall. Round the final 2 turns then, it's going to be a surprise race win here for Nicholas Cavati that leaves Freddie Lindgren sweating. 2 points for the Swede will put him on to 11. Cavati with a first race victory of the night moves on to 7, and Peter Ljung denied qualification with a single point in 3rd. Martin Vakulik is just 1 point away from the Speedway Grand Prix Series. Kenneth Bjerre needs a minimum of 2nd to keep his dream alive. A race victory would send him through. Freddie Lindgren and his Swedish fans watching on nervously. Martin Vakulik goes off gate 1 in the red helmet colour. 11 points to his name. Vaclav Milik, a reserve substitution here in the blue helmet colour for Piotr Pawlicki, whose luck has run out. Kenneth Bjerre off gate 3 in white, and Krzysztof Buszkowski off the outside. The last of the qualifying races, Heat 20. Good start for Vakulik off gate number 1. Bjerre straight back to the inside, coming around turns 1 and 2's. Made good use of that gate 3 position and fires past Vakulik. This would be enough for Bjerre to move through, but he locks up going into turn 3. And they're almost 3 abreast coming off turn number 4 as Bjerre is under a great deal of pressure. Vakulik comes breezing through, and Buszkowski is going to follow him. And Bjerre, if he drops to 3rd, will be eliminated and won't make it through to the Speedway World Championship. Buszkowski claims the position but locks up on the top bend. Bjerre will be relieved. He's back through into 2nd place. Now he needs to defend it to the finish. He's not going to get to Vakulik. The Slovakian is pulling well clear. Bjerre has mixed up his lines. Buszkowski forced to go for the cutback. Bjerre covering the inside down into the turns. Doesn't want to be found out up the inside. He gets a little bit out of control, heading towards the final lap. Buszkowski close once again, pursuing hard from the minor places. Just hasn't been able to get out of the starts here this evening, and that's cost him. And he's lost ground in the latter stages to Kenneth Bjerre. We're going to have a race-off to decide the last qualifier because Martin Vakulik wins and Bjerre matches Lindgren with 2nd position, denying Krzysztof Buszkowski. It was real nail-biting stuff there at one stage for Kenneth Bjerre. Vaclav Milik retiring at the back. So Martin Vakulik and Patrick Dudek are the first confirmed qualifiers. Kenneth Bjerre and Freddie Lindgren will have to suffer through a runoff to try and decide that last qualifier.
Good boy, thank you. You nearly broke that first corner up. Thank you. Good on.
Woohoo! Woo!
Disappointment for Martin Smolinski as the German misses out by a point. Christoph Kasprzak and Nicholas Cavati will feel unfortunate after 2 non-scoring rides from the unfavourable gate 3 position. The fans here in Vetlanda have an additional opportunity to see their heroes, a bonus race, heat number 21, a match race scenario where only the winner will move through to the 2017 Speedway World Championship. Kenneth Bjerre and Freddie Lindgren will be the two Scandinavian riders competing in this one. Lindgren of Sweden, the home representative, versus Kenneth Bjerre. Both scored 11 points during the heat races. Lindgren got the better of Bjerre back in heat number 3, but the running has changed so much since then. The 21st race of the day. Bjerre has the inner portion of the circuit in red, Lindgren the outer portion of the circuit in white, and only the winner of this one will move through to the World Championship, making it onto the podium here tonight. Bjerre has made the faster start off the inside. He's going to stick to the curb. That gives the outside run to Freddie Lindgren, who will pursue and will pull alongside down into turn 3. Bjerre moves across the front of Lindgren to defend, and Lindgren goes for the cutback. Brilliant stuff from Freddie Lindgren to command the opening lap, and then back across the front of Bjerre to lead. The Dane now has the work to do from behind, but he's got a good run off the second turn. Where did he find that traction for? Dive bombs through into turn 3. Lindgren back up the inside, coming off the final turn. Half race distance, and this has been superlative speedway. Very often match races are decided from the start, but not this one. It's Lindgren leading it from Bjerre, looking to the outside into turn number 3. Lindgren won't leave any door open, but Bjerre might just force one to open. He's going to try and prize his way through into the final lap. Lindgren holds firm, is the first to reach the dirt berm on the outside line. Bjerre goes for one final attack up on the outside, but he's got out of shape, he's not going to get there. And Freddie Lindgren becomes the third qualifier to the 2017 Speedway World Championship. Delight for the Grand Prix regular as he secures his place in next season's World Championship, and still has an opportunity, of course, to finish in the top 8 this year after coming in as a reserve rider to replace the injured Jarek Hampel. But here today it was all about making the top 3 to guarantee a place in the World Championship next year, and Freddie Lindgren has done just that after a brilliant runoff at the expense of Kenneth Bjerre. A dramatic finale with a third runoff in 3 years as Freddie Lindgren takes the final qualification position. Kenneth Bjerre may yet make it through to the 2017 series, of course, if Lindgren can finish in the top 8 of the 2016 Grand Prix series.
First of all, I'm really satisfied to be back in the Grand Prix Series full-time for next season, and tonight was a really tough evening, as it always is in this Grand Prix Challenge, and I made a few mistakes along the way, but in the end I was really happy to be on the top 3 position.
I'm very happy about today because I'm very pleased for this result for me. So, because this was one of my goals for this season, come back to Grand Prix, and I make it, and I'm so happy now, and I can't find some more words for this moment, but I'm very happy and looking forward for the next season in a full-time Grand Prix rider. So that's great, and dreams come true, and unbelievable. I'm so happy.
Everything was good today. I don't change my sprocket in the bike, so I had maximum points today. And when I started in the match, the league Elite Serie with Dakarna contra when I started in the league, I had maximum points, and today, so this track I like. And everything was good today. Thanks for my team, my father, mother and my girlfriends, my tuner Jan Andersson, my old sponsor, and I hope the next year will be the same result all the time. But I know this is very heavy meetings because the tracks is not the same, but the riders is all the time the same because we started in the Poland and the Sweden, so I hope we'll be good the next year.
Freddie Lindgren can now ride relaxed through the remainder of the 2016 World Championship. Martin Vakulik books his return to the elite as well, and Patrick Dudek marks a stunning turnaround from 0 to hero in 2 years as the 2016 Challenge winner.